It's a remarkable story about fast-tracked construction and determination.
We have a reputation at Wagners of getting things done, and we like to do things quickly.
A publicly funded COVID quarantine facility was opened last month on private land at Wellcamp near Toowoomba.
Let me assure the public this facility will be put to very good use.
But the project has been dogged by what critics see as excessive secrecy, with key contracts not going out to tender, hidden behind a veil of commercial and confidence.
It seemed to be a rushed job and rushed opportunity. A private company has just been given the money without any tender. There is competition available in this space.
At the time, it was a reasonable prospect to say we need customised quarantine facilities. We can't keep using hotels. The problem is that because it's a private proposal, all of the money that's being pumped in now, there'll be no guarantee that the government can use it in 18 months' time or 2 years' time or 3 years' time.
And with the federal government putting the finishing touches on its own COVID quarantine facility in Brisbane, the Palaszczuk government has been under pressure to explain why and how much public money it's spending on Wellcamp.
Why should a public facility be in private hands like this?
Well, look, we wanted to build it as quickly as we could, and we wanted it to be of ongoing value.
One of the key concerns, apart from the cost and the need for the project, was how a quarantine facility over 100 kilometres away from a major hospital could provide the necessary health care. 7:30 put that question to the Deputy Premier Stephen Miles last November.
We will address that in the implementation of how we manage the facility and how we staff the facility.
But it is a fair question to ask, isn't it? Where will the staff come from?
Well, the staffing of this facility will be much more efficient than hotel quarantine staffing, which we are currently staffing.
2 months later, the Queensland Government finally answered that question.
I've just met some workers at this manufacturing plant here.
The staff will be provided by the company Aspen Medical, which amongst other things was already operating a mask manufacturing facility in Brisbane. Its Wellcamp healthcare contract didn't go to tender, and the details remain commercial in confidence. Just how Aspen Medical secured this deal has been the focus of opposition attacks.
Does the Premier stand by the decision that only one company had the capability to provide medical services at Wellcamp?
Premier, you have the call.
I'm advised by the Deputy Premier that they were the only company that could do that contract.
Speaker.
Aspen Medical is also a client of arguably the most influential lobbying firm in Queensland, Enacta, founded by a Labor Party figure, Evan Moorhead.
Enacta is run by a former Labor Party operative, state director, member of Parliament, so I am concerned with Enacta.
So there's a problem there because it's clearly creating the perception and the fear amongst businesses in Queensland and citizens in Queensland that the way to get not just a contract from government but an exclusive private contract from government is to go through this particular firm, which, by the way, also happens to donate a fair amount of its profits back to the Labor Party.
It's part of a broader controversy about Queensland's regulation of lobbyists, leading to the Premier last month announcing a review into public sector culture.
This is a small but not isolated incident of the enormous influence of these particular lobbying firms.
The Deputy Premier, Aspen Medical and Enacta were unavailable for on-camera interviews, but all of them said no lobbying took place prior to the granting of the Wellcamp contract. A government spokesman said the decision not to go to tender was made after a round of consultations last December. But one private healthcare provider based here in Queensland has told 7:30 he knew nothing about this and is disappointed to have been excluded.
We were capable of providing the services and would have tended to deliver these. I did reach out to the Queensland Health Contract point of contact with an email sent on 26 August 2021, but sadly did not hear back.
A Queensland Government spokesperson told 7:30 that the contract would have been too difficult for some providers.
private health providers were considered but excluded on the basis that they would be required to manage the delivery of increased referral volumes at the peak of the current Omicron surge.
Queensland's Auditor-General has now asked the government to provide information about the Wellcamp development, following a request by the LNP opposition.
Yes, it was extraordinary circumstances, but that doesn't mean the Queensland taxpayers don't deserve to know how much they're spending, or, in this case, possibly being wasted at one particular facility.
Meanwhile, the federal government's Pinkenbar 500-bed quarantine facility near Brisbane Airport is due to open mid-year, while the private Wellcamp Centre has fewer than 50 people staying in a 500-bed compound due to expand to 1,000 beds next month.
It might still be a wise decision to be able to invest in that sort of infrastructure, but we need the transparency in order to be able to learn the lessons about how to make decisions in a crisis like a pandemic.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.